Hello, hi everyone. I am Nurul Najwa, a final year student. I hope everyone is having amazing weekdays, is having a good time. And today I am going to tell you guys a little bit breakdown about my event from campus to corporate, turning degrees into reality. So what went well was the event is successful, and the most importantly, what we can improve from that event. So let us dive in. On 16 January 2025, we hosted a talk show at Auditorium Zakbar in Universiti Selangor. And the goal of the event is to help students like me to get real insight from the industry expert, which they already been in the corporate world itself. They have survived in the corporate world. And throughout the event, we had successfully had 116 participants and 3 amazing panelists, which is our alumni from Universiti Selangor, and a whole lot of engaging discussion throughout the event. On the event, we get to hear about career struggles, industry trends, and even tips to avoid the classic blur sotong when you start your first job. But of course, there's no event is perfect, and we definitely had faces some challenges throughout the event, such as last minute panelist cancellation, because for the first discussion we agreed to have 4 panelists, but instead on the event day we had 3. So that is the challenges. And the second challenges is technical issues, because microphone missing, screen glitching, basically a tech nightmare. And the third challenges is manpower shortage, because our logistic and technical teams were like 2-man army. So that is like the biggest mistake for the pre-event. And the last challenge that we goes throughout the event is communication gaps, especially between the moderators and the program director itself. So these are all the challenges that we have faced throughout the event on 16 January 2025. But despite all these challenges, we pulled out through this event very, very successfully, and it had become a great and incredible teamwork effort, a quick problem solving, and of course a lot of cepat-cepat cari solution moments. So what I can recommend for my next event to do better is, firstly, we had really to secure the panelists, so we don't have to face the last minute cancellation from the panelists. We really have to have our own backup plan, so no more last minute stress. And my second recommendation is the technical teams to do more testing, to have more extras, and have backup laptops, because as we all know, technologies love to betray us, even though we really try all of them one day before the event. And another recommendation that I can give is to have a better manpower and to have more rehearsals for the moderators and the technical team itself. What is the reality of working in corporate life? Trust me, the 3 panelists did not hold back, so let us find out. First up, we had Mr. Muhammad Najib, the digital hustler. So, Mr. Muhammad Najib made it clear that the corporate world is a non-stop hustle, especially in the digital industry, since he worked in the digital field. His biggest advice was for you to adapt or be left behind, because the industry is really and always evolving, and if you don't keep it with the trend, you are irrelevant in the next day. Mr. Najib also had mentioned for you to stay updated, keep learning and stay innovative to be, or for you to try to learn in the digital industry itself. The second views about the corporate world we had from Sir Loh Yit Hang, the social impact warrior, who works at the Malaysian AIDS Foundation. His perspective through about the corporate world is the corporate world isn't just about making money, it's about making an impact. That is his quote. Mr. Loh work focused on social causes, and he reminded us that corporate job doesn't mean suits and profit margin only. There's also non-profit and social enterprise sites where companies focus and making a real difference in the corporate world. So here's the catch. He was honest about the struggles too. He said, if you want to work in the field that give back to society, be prepared for long hours, tight budget, and a lot of problem solving. So basically, if you are passionate about change, about the corporate world can be meaningful, but it also not all rainbows and charity events only. So that is his words about corporate world. Finally, we had Miss Darshini Aditan, a marketing executive, and let me tell you, she gave us a reality check what we needed about corporate expectation. And her main message about corporate world is forget your textbook knowledge. The real world is a different ball game. She explained how corporate life is all about networking, confidence, and soft skills. No matter how good your grades are, if you can't communicate, you can't negotiate, or you can't sell your ideas, you are gonna struggle in the corporate world. So basically, she said your CGPA result won't save you in a higher pressure meeting. So to point out, all the corporate views were POV. So the corporate world is tough because you really have to run into deadlines, high expectation, and pressure is all part of the deal to be in the corporate world. So the second one is soft skills matter more than hard skills because confidence, adaptability, and networking will take you far in the corporate world. Next is long life learning is key. The industry is like always evolving and changing, so you just need to be ready to keep up with the trend and keep up with the changes every day. The last one is passion versus practicality. Find the balance between what you love and what will pay your bills. So next, speaker who interested me the most is of course Mr. Muhammad Najib, because the first thing, I am the moderator of the event and I personally have the conversation between him throughout the whole event. So by the event, I love all his answers. I love all his positive vibe that he brings through the event, and he has a really strong background of study since he is the one of the alumni in University Selangor. His career story also really motivate us, make my eye open to be in the corporate world, and his charismatic figure really makes the talk session really engaging and really interesting because he really like to interact with the audience so much. So that's why I think I like Mr. Najib the most, because of this all characteristic lah. Of all challenges that all three panelists have said earlier, there is one challenge that stuck in my mind. It is from Mr. Najib. So the challenge is for you to adapt or for you to be left behind, because what has Mr. Najib talked is how the industry is always evolving and changing, and it is really scaring actually. And if you don't adapt, you will be left behind, because for sure, you know, technologies nowadays is really growing fast. And why is that matter is concern to me? Because Mr. Najib mentioned that he works in the digital campaign. A single algorithm can change, could break the entire strategy. And they got me thinking, if the professional are struggle to keep up, how do fresh grad like me to stand a chance in trying the digital industry? So we are entering a workforce where knowing your job isn't enough, because you need to learn every day. You need to keep changing or learning every day to be relevant in nowadays. You need to be flexible and constantly upskilling yourself and ready to unlearn and relearn things all the time, even though you know to do something this correctly, but some days there's other way for you to do your things that you know it's correct. So, and honestly, these are the challenges that stuck in my mind and make me pressure so much. And what I can do for this is also some solid advice from Mr. Najib to stay relevant in the industry. The first advice that Mr. Najib mentioned is you never stop learning. You take online courses, attend workshops, or stay updated with the industry trends. The second Mr. Najib mentioned is to be adaptable. So for you to learn new tools such as all the AI tools, all the trends, you just cannot resist it. You need to learn all the new trends. And the third is network and ask questions. That means you need to have more connection with the industry professionals for you to get more insights, for you to get more knowledge about that industry. And the last, Mr. Najib made it clear that your degree is just a starting point. The real learning is after you graduate. So the real learning is when you start your first job. That is the real learning. Conclusion is, at the end of the day, from campus to corporate, turning degrees into destiny wasn't just an event, wasn't just another university event. It was a reality check for all final year students like me. We learned that stepping into the corporate world isn't just about having our own degree. It's about adaptability, confidence, and continuously learning. Our panelists, all panelists, Mr. Muhammad Najib, Mr. Seloh, and Ms. Darshini, have showed us that challenges are inevitable, but those who had prepared themselves and worked network smartly and embrace change will thrive in the industry. This event also reminded me that success doesn't happen overnight. It built throughout effort, strategy, and persistent in your works. So as we move forward, let's take this lesson seriously and start prepare yourself now to get involved in the corporate world. We need to be ready to step up and own our future. Lastly, huge shout out to everyone who made this event a successful event.